Question commentaire. Questions and comments. The honourable member for Surrey Newton.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to commend the honourable member from Edmonton-Millwoods for bringing this bill forward. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to extortions, BC is also one of the provinces that he mentioned. In fact, Mr. Speaker, all orders of the government, irrespective what the political stripe is, and all the police forces in Canada have to come together to find a smart and tough solution to deal with these situations. Just wondered if the honourable member will agree that we, not only as one party, but in fact, irrespective what the political stripe is, and all orders of the government and all the police forces have to come together to find a smart and tough solution to deal with this situation.
The honourable member for Edmonton-Millwoods.
Mr. Speaker, it's nice to say that we all need to come together and find a solution, but the fact is that member is a part of this government that brought in Bill C-75 and C-5, which makes it easier for violent criminals to get back out onto the streets and terrorize the same communities that they come from. If you talk to police officers right across the country, they will tell you that they are arresting criminals in the morning and they're being released by later that day. That member and that government had the power to keep criminals in jail. They chose their ideological ways, soft on crime policies, and allowing these criminals back on the streets. Mr. Speaker, only Conservatives will put criminals behind bars, jail, not bail.
That's exactly right.
Question commentaire. Questions and comments. The honourable member for
Souk. I'm gonna get mixed up every time here to make sure.
Alphabetical. Esquimalt, Saanich,
Souk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, we have Conservatives bringing forward a bill that calls for imposing mandatory minimum penalties. And I'm wondering what evidence they have in describing this as a tool that mandatory minimums actually work as a deterrent. Because as a former criminal justice instructor, I can cite you stacks of information that show that mandatory minimums have absolutely no deterrent effect.
The honourable member for Edmonton-Millwoods.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the fact of the matter is that since this government has been in power in the last 9 years and they brought in policies that NDP member and the NDP and Liberal government have brought in, these soft on crime policies, crime has gone up. Every statistic across the country with violent crime has gone up. We have made a commitment to Canadians that we will put these criminals behind bars. And Mr. Speaker, a repeat violent offender who's behind bars cannot go out and commit crimes again because they're in jail.
Exactly.
Questions and comments. Question commentaire. The honourable member for Battle River Crowfoot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to thank and commend my colleague and the Deputy Leader of the Conservative Party for his leadership on prioritising victims, not offenders, but prioritizing victims. I'm wondering if he could share about how the scales need to be tipped back to ensure that it's victims and their rights that are protected at a time when we see crime running rampant on the streets of this country.
The honourable member for Edmonton-Millwoods.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my colleague for this question. And he's right. We have to take the side of victims right across the country. I continue to meet with so many victims and who are just lost for words. What can they do to protect their families? Many of them are new Canadians who came to this country expecting a better future. And they feel that they can't do anything. Many of them, those that their vehicles are being stolen, nothing that they can do. Those that have been involved in violent crime, nothing they can do. They actually see the same person who committed those crimes back out on the streets, Mr. Speaker. Canadians feel helpless. Canadians need help. Canadians need a government that will stand up for them and protect them, and Conservatives will do that.